Welcome to Los Angeles. Welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast. Malibu Moves race director Erica Segel and race ambassador Francis Robles. What is up, running family? Welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast. My name is Rizzo. I am based here in Los Angeles. I run across the LA running community, the nation, and the world. You can follow all my adventures on Rizzo.runs on Instagram. This podcast is dedicated to the city of Los Angeles. It is also dedicated to the 2025 LA Marathon, the 40th running, March 16, 2025. I am making this race accessible to those who cannot afford the race. I will get more into the details at the end of this episode so you can go on and learn how to donate or apply for assistance with registration fees. But today we are filming as usual from Venice Beach, California, and we have two amazing guests here today, and I'm so excited to have them here because, well, I'm going to let them talk about it a little bit, but my first guest I would like to introduce as the founder, the president, I don't know what we're going to call you today.
Race director of Malibu Moves, Erica Segel. Please welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast.
Thank you so much, Rizzo. First off, we're so excited to be here with you. We're such fans of what you represent in the community and how you bring the community together. So naturally, when you extended the invitation, I was thrilled to be able to join you and share a little bit about my story and the event and my ambassador stories. But my name is Erica Segel, like you said, and I have about a decade of experience organizing an event. And last year, I wanted to start something new that spoke to what I had been witnessing for so many years in people's lives, which was the magic that happens when somebody makes that crazy decision that they're going to sign up for a race. And the more I was involved with the community, the more I realized that it wasn't just about that time, the racing component, the competitive component. It was about everything else that takes place, that ripple effect that it has into your life, how it can redeem your health, your mental health, can improve so many aspects, and of course the stories that people will share.
Yes.
And so I wanted to start a new event that was solely dedicated to making racing more accessible and more inclusive, in the sense that it wouldn't be intimidating. It would be beginner friendly, it would be walker friendly, and not as a afterthought, like I cannot run, so I walk. No, just as an option. And really that would empower everybody that came, no matter of their time, to feel in that very moment that we're on top of the world, because it's all about that, right?
Amazing. I feel like you should mic drop right now. What you just the speech was amazing. You're like the perfect guest. Like you went through my whole itinerary here. It's amazing.
Oh no. Okay, so thank you for having us here. We're leaving now.
The perfect guest. It's amazing.
That was easy.
But thank you for being here. We're definitely here to talk about Malibu Moves, and we are going to get to all of these details. But let's introduce our second guest. I don't know. Should you introduce her? The ambassador,
I would love
one of the
to.
ambassadors. Yeah, go for it.
Yes. So Malibu Moves is very lucky to have a very special group of people this year representing the event. And they were selected because they embody some of that magic that I was describing. And they are that community connector out there, selflessly inspiring others to believe in themselves. And my attention was caught by this fiery, cracky, amazing woman that is Francis. And so take it away.
Hi, thank you, Erica. Thank you so much for having us, Rizzo. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be with Malibu Moves. I was so happy when you reached out, and sad because I denied it at first because of other engagements. But I was so happy when you accepted my my request to be part of it, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to Rizzo
Thanks.
Run Club Podcast. I mean, she said it perfect, fiery. I mean, you're just like, that's you, right? I love it.
I love
Yes,
it too. Actually.
contagious.
Okay, so let's talk about something very important. Been thinking about this all week. I kind of shared this with you yesterday. We are talking about the inaugural event, right? Malibu Moves. When this race is run at the end of October, 26th, 27th, right?
Yes.
I mean, think about this. All the people that are going to post on Instagram, people are going to put on their Instagram stories, TikTok. This could potentially next year be labeled as one of the most scenic courses in America, right? I mean, we're talking about Malibu. Like the boo. I mean, this is it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's the dream. For me, it is that possibility to share a community that it's so important to me, not just because of the gorgeous scenery. So, of course,
Right.
I'm going to totally confirm what Rizzo just said.
Right.
Running, along the Pacific Coast Highway, views of the ocean on one side, the Santa Monica Mountains on the other, starting and ending at the iconic Zuma Beach, which is one of the most scenic backdrops
Yes.
to movies,
Yes.
photo shoots, and so on. And there's a reason because of that. And also, I want to underscore that we are the only event that offers this course.
Yes.
So we're the only event that will be running from Zuma Beach to Zuma Beach 100% along the PCH. So it's such an opportunity to experience that part of the coast in a safe and inclusive way. So it's going to be incredible. But what makes me even more excited is that Malibu is so much more than that. It's a very lively community that cares so much about the environment and so many other topics, including safety along the Pacific Coast Highway, which
Right.
is one of the main topics. And so having a platform like Malibu Moves will give me an opportunity to bring the community together
Sure.
in such a beautiful place, but also share our commitment to preserving that beautiful scenery, and also to, make people aware to please slow down.
yeah. I love that you point out the Zuma Beach thing, because if you're not from LA, I mean, Zuma Beach is, you've seen a million movies and you probably didn't realize it was Zuma Beach.
Yes.
It's very iconic. Yeah. And like Francis, you and I, we live more inland. I'm in Pasadena. You're in Whittier.
Yeah.
You run with the Whittier Pacers.
Pacers.
Shout out to Monica.
Yes.
We love you, Monica.
Right.
The
But,
best.
you and I, like, we're more inland. And if you're not from LA, we're that could be like night and day, another planet. So to come run at the beach is always amazing.
It's
right?
always amazing. I love Malibu. Since I mean, maybe 10 years ago, I started going to Malibu. I would take my daughter out there just because the waves are not as big on some of the beaches,
That's true.
and she's able to go and explore, right? And we always remember that. I just came back from Gaviota, and we were doing the same thing. We were talking about Malibu,
Yeah.
and I was telling her about that we're going to be out here in October to run and to race, and just to have that opportunity. When the streets are closed and you get to run through that and you see the ocean, you see the mountains. I love the mountains. I love the beach. It's just prime.
Yeah.
Prime. It's so ideal. I can't wait. I'm excited to be there. I want it to be now.
Yeah.
I was going
Me
to stop
too.
there. I was going to stop
Fast
there
forward.
and just do it. I was like, I just want to do the course already.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the same until we're there.
Yeah.
Until everybody's there.
Like I said, you two are the perfect guests. That was leading into my next thing. So we're a little over a month away.
Yeah.
Erica, how you feeling? I mean, at this moment.
Yes, 8 weeks away, and it's so exciting because it's palpable and I can start seeing it. And something that that is actually belongs to why I care so much about being a race director is that the first time I got involved with this world by chance. And an opportunity open to rebuild this event that wasn't doing well, the event that now it's known as Run Malibu. And I remember the first time witnessing that energy at the start line from the crowd, and I've never felt anything like what I felt that day. And I was coming from a different industry, it had nothing to do with endurance. And in that moment, I knew that this is what I wanted to keep doing and dedicate myself to, because there's no other community that gives so much back and cares about one another as much as the running and walking community. And it was incredible. And this is not even to mention the energy at the end when you see people finally cross that finish line and achieve something so big. So that is what this is what, if I close my eyes, I'm already there with you out.
Everybody wearing pink.
Yeah. Actually, the race shirts are not pink.
Not pink. Oh,
you can check them out on our Instagram and website at Malibu Moves. But there will be merch, pink merch for sure.
Okay.
And so if I close my eyes, I'm already there with you all guys, you know, and feeling that energy, you know, that focus before and then that celebratory feeling after.
Yeah, amazing.
Pictures.
So
many pictures.
why weren't the shirts pink? I'm just kind of curious.
I thought, like this.
Everything has been amazingly pink, you know, in your advertising. And
I like my pink for sure. There's gonna be, you know, pink somewhere, you know, along the way.
Sure.
But you know, you let me know if you like the race shirts, and we're gonna unveil the medal soon. So.
Yes, that's right. I did see the medal yesterday.
Yeah,
so
you got a preview.
Yeah.
Yes, and you actually touched it and
yeah,
found it.
it was pretty
so
cool. Yeah, it's a nice medal.
Probably when it will come out, it will have been announced.
Well done, well done. I mean, you're gonna have to run it to see it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Erica,
ready to earn it. Yes.
let's talk. I'm so intrigued by our conversations. How you said, you were not aware of this community, and then you all of a sudden became aware of it, and so what's your story like? Where are you from? And
thank you for asking. I'm originally from Italy, from Rome. So I came to the United States with my first job, and my first job brought me to Malibu. I was an executive assistant. My boss' primary residence was Malibu.
Yeah.
And I wasn't impressed at all. I come from Europe and Rome, and cities are, different. And I thought, where's the city?
Right. Especially Malibu.
Malibu is a stretched out 21 miles. And at first I didn't get it. So I was like, okay. And it wasn't until when and it was thanks to this event that I got involved with, that then I discovered the community.
Yeah.
That makes, what I believe makes Malibu unique.
Sure.
And that's how I got hooked, and I really started to care so much and be more involved. A community is not a community unless people come together and care for common, for one another, for a common reason. And so that's when, I started feeling so passionate about it. And the more I invited people to share, this community that I love, the more I grew fond of it.
Right. So you were not impressed with Malibu. I mean, it's beautiful, but at the same time, you were more of Rome as a city, and you were. Yes,
I've traveled a lot with my previous job, over 40 countries, and I have seen, from beautiful paradises to, Asia and, South Pacific.
Sure.
So I love the beach. I thought it was beautiful, and of course, the trails, the mountains, but I just, at first, it felt quiet, and, I didn't feel there was a city center, a place of gathering.
Yeah.
But later on, I discovered, how to feel a sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what were your first impressions of, we know Malibu, but Los Angeles?
So intimidating. So lost.
But LA must have felt more like what you were used to in Rome.
Yes, but very spread out.
Yeah.
And also, you need to imagine like a major cultural shock. Mm-hmm. So you're, relearning every single aspect, as an adult.
Sure.
And so things are so, easy for somebody, and you give for granted, like you might be going through a learning curve. But and so it feels so big. Where do I start?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, the moment that it changed was when I started joining the run clubs, because number one, started meeting people.
Sure.
And quality people that, I was forming authentic connections. So that was another big thing where, LA can be a little bit of a surface level type of community.
Very.
And it's hard because you think you have a lot of acquaintances. you keep collecting phone numbers and we'll make plans. Never happens. And then all of a sudden, this community opens up, and I started building real connections, and also, you start discovering the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I feel it's like your story too, Francis. I mean, I've watched you and I've come into the running community as like a newbie in a sense. And you must have discovered this running community the same way.
The same way, a sense of belonging.
Right.
I started in 2022 with the Whittier Pacers.
Yeah.
It was just a goal of mine to do the LA Marathon, just because I've been trying to set goals for every year.
Yeah.
2022 was my goal to run the LA Marathon in 2023. And I had no idea. I mean, I done CrossFit since 2019.
Yeah.
And I couldn't run 200 meters. The coaches will tell you she did not want to run 200 meters. And now I'm just like, 26 miles, whatever.
She has wings now.
Now I have wings.
Serious.
Yes, but it started with Monica,
Yeah.
With the Whittier Pacers. And that's going to be like my home, my family. And I will always represent them.
Of course.
Because they taught me the love for running.
Yeah.
It's a big family. We're inclusive of everyone. Walking, my friends are walking,
Yeah.
That's when they start. We all started walking. I couldn't even do half a mile, quarter of a mile without being winded.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started with my pace at 13:45. Now I'm down to like 10:30.
It's amazing.
It's amazing
Yeah.
in 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of hard work, and it's the coaching that they provide, the guidance, the support, the advice. They're always there. They're supportive. It's a supportive community. They won't let you down. Anywhere you go, any run club, any group that you meet, they just won't let you down, you know? And I mean, it's going to continue growing from there.
Yeah. But you must have just been blown away yourself when you
Blown
saw
away,
that.
still.
Besides the Whittier Pacers, there was a whole community You've made amazing friends all over LA.
Oh my God, everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, we make friends. I love it. I love learning about people. I love meeting people. I love listening to their story.
Yeah.
I love knowing like where they're going, what their goals are. It could be different. We all have different goals.
Yeah.
And I just love learning about that. And it continues to amaze me.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just growing, and I'm learning more as I partake in these ambassadorships and learn more about Erica, meeting great people. So from there, I think I'm going to continue. Just trying to support others so that they have the same story that I have.
I mean, look at you now. Look at the hat, the shirt, ambassadors. So.
But that's why I was drawn to her, because the first thing that she said to me was how she felt that her role now was to make sure that others can succeed just like she did in her goals.
Yep.
And how she was dedicated to, empowering others, because it's that leap of faith, that, that trust in yourself, especially the first time. And I think what you said, I want to, link to that when she said the Whittier Pacers are family.
Yeah.
I wanted a race that felt that way, that felt as an extension of what those crews and run clubs are creating for people, which is more than, you come and you exercise. I think has very little to do with exercise, and has so much more about
social,
this community of support,
absolutely,
and empowerment, and events should cater to that culture,
I agree.
and should learn from the run clubs.
100%,
It's
absolutely.
life-changing.
Yep.
It changed my life. It has changed my life completely. And I want that for others. I want them to just step in and just be like, they could never, we hear it all the time. They can't run a mile,
Yep.
So it's like, no, just come with us.
Yes.
Come with us, and you're going to see that you can walk that mile first. Walk it, and then little by little, you'll start increasing, 1 minute runs or 2 minute runs, 1 minute walk. Little by little, you get to that point where all of a sudden, you're doing 5Ks every Monday and Wednesday. 3 times a week, and you didn't know you could do that. And then you start doing your 10Ks and then a half. It's impressive.
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah. So, Erica, going back to your story, so you LA was intimidating. Were you always a runner?
No. I didn't even know what a bib was. So when I would have running as part of my workout routines, didn't necessarily, I just did it because I had to get it done as part of my aerobic, side of cardio, whatever. And then when it was the time, and I was thrown into revamping this event, I was like, okay, I have to start from zero. Like I didn't, so I had to learn everything. I said, okay, I'm gonna sign up for my first race, and then I'm gonna join a run club, and so that's why, and that for me was LA Leggers. So shout out to them, because they were that welcoming community to me. Where I did not feel intimidated, and they created a safe space for me to trust the process. So what she was saying, it's really just trusting the process, obviously having a good strategy and support. And then when I did my first half marathon, I remember that sense of appreciation. So I wanted to do LA. I tried twice. I haven't completed that yet because of injury. but that's, there's always time. But it gave me that appreciation for the journey that you basically start, and how profound that is, what a metaphor to life is. Like I remember clearly, as if it were yesterday, that moment that I felt, if I were able to do something so hard that I didn't believe I could do, and I trusted myself, I trusted the process, and now I did it. What else could I do? Like if I applied the same, confidence and mindset to other areas of my life. So that's where the value, that's why it's so important, to start from our youth, and, to introduce this life lessons,
mental strength.
Life skills.
Yeah, it's so funny. I tell you, you're the perfect guest. You're just answering all my stuff here. It's amazing. But I was going to ask you, so then what was the defining moment for you you used to run kind of, but what brought you literally into the community? Was there a moment or?
No, I think it was because I was dedicated to understanding how I could serve this community. Yeah. So as a race director, what I believe my role is to create an experience. And for me, it was always, and it is today, still being dedicated to hearing what the community wants in order to empower them, in order to orchestrate something that's meaningful. So right now it's been so many years, and I feel, as a foreigner, I don't feel a foreigner anymore. I walk, I have my community here, and I know really incredible people that have shaped who I am today. What Francis was saying, hearing the life stories, every time there's something you can take with you that applies to your personal life, or or somebody that's close to you. So you can learn so much. You can be so inspired if you just listen.
Sure.
So I don't think there's a moment, but I know that this is exactly where I was supposed.
There's
a
reason.
Yes,
amazing.
And that's why I do it with so much passion. That's why it became my life. And when I decided to create Malibu Moves, for me, it was just being able to provide that experience that would really not create a barrier to entry to anybody. Once you have, a few events under your belts, you build up the confidence and you know what you're doing. But the first time, the first, moment, you ask yourself, do I belong? And I want that answer to be yes, you belong. Any fitness level, any age, any pace. I want to actually invite people to join us in creating a new way of really celebrating the last people crossing the finish line. We're so, we're used to celebrate the top of, the pack.
Yep.
Which is absolutely an amazing experience. We just had the Olympics.
Yeah.
Our very own Rizzo was there reporting for us. All the way in Paris. And there's absolutely no doubt that is magical. But there's also magic in that journey, at the end of the race. And I hope I can invite everybody to stay to cheer until the last, because how amazing it is to not just show up for your own journey, but also acknowledge that there's, hundreds or thousands of other people with you there, and that by you staying and cheering somebody else, you're making their journey even more meaningful.
Yeah.
So that's why, for me is, let's have a new marker of success being how good did I feel? And, how, or just showing up being a thing
Sure.
where like, I want to acknowledge myself for showing out today.
Yeah.
I am here today,
Absolutely.
I had fun. I was with like-minded, amazing people.
Yeah.
They cheered for me. I cheered for them. And I'm part of something bigger.
Yeah. It's interesting you say all that. I feel like, we are definitely experiencing a running boom right now, right? And it's been a few years, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the running boom we're experiencing is attributed to the running clubs who have made running more accessible to, like you said, the back of the pack. It's not all about, the top three, although we do celebrate them, the Olympics and stuff. But, it's the back of the pack is the party. That's where
what
it's
I was
at,
gonna
right?
add. I was
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna
that's
say.
actually the party pace. That's
Right?
the fun.
Partied in the
That's
back.
the back. It's
That's
the
going to be
fun.
our motto.
It
It's the fun
is,
one,
right?
yeah.
I mean-
and you get to meet new friends.
Yes.
You always meet new friends.
I've run several LA marathons where I've crossed the finish line, and my mom was running it. So I'd cross the finish line, and I'd run back to go get my mom. And at this time, she was, in the back of the pack. And I remember the first time getting there and going, what the? This is a party back here.
What did I miss?
Yeah, what am I doing?
Why
Trying to
was
run
I in a
fast.
hurry?
Fast, yeah.
Why would I do that to
Why would I-
myself? This is the
Missing
party.
out. You're missing out in the back.
Seriously
Yeah.
missing out,
Yes.
and I think that, to the average, person who's thinking about running, they just see the top three, right? Like we celebrate that, but no one's focusing on the middle of the pack, the back of the pack, and I'm so glad that, I've received the message from you and your race that we are celebrating you, not just the people at the top. Of course, we're celebrating them too, but it's clear that if you're coming to Malibu Moves, this is what we're celebrating, right? And
Yeah, and we are actually basically putting together a team. It's my party pacer team, and they're like solely dedicated to keeping the energy and the party going at the back.
Yeah.
So I call it reverse engineering from the last one to the first.
Yeah.
And this is what an organizer can provide for the community. We can be aware of our cutoff times. And so not, starting to take down the course as somebody it's still on it, or, I've heard people, including, a few of my ambassadors, like Jen or Elizabeth, who have shared moments of arriving at the finish line. The finish line has been taken down,
Yes.
where they run out of food, the music
The
is
water.
over.
Yep.
The sweepers are behind
That is
you.
devastating,
So, yeah.
And of
Crushing.
course, in certain cases, it might be, the municipality forcing, early shutdowns. But for somebody starting off, it's important to understand, like, pick a race that can provide you with that experience, because you deserve to be celebrated and to have that grand finale
Sure.
to that journey.
Sure. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I just have one more question. Do you run a lot still?
So now I'm a walker, and
Okay.
possibly that's why I'm so passionate about trying to debunk the stigma that you're less of because you're a walker. And actually that has started even before, because even a lot of runners still deal with the impostor syndrome.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would love to hear what you guys think about it. But I had a similar conversation even with my ambassadors. And I mean, some of them have walls full of medals.
Yeah.
And yet it wasn't until they were sub 2.5 marathon that they finally felt I can call myself
Sure.
a runner.
Sure.
Or it wasn't until they felt a certain pressure to be fast enough. And so it's not even about proving to yourself that you can do it, because
Yeah.
they had done that with ultra marathons and so on and so forth. So I really want to just, put a stop to that. Everybody, if you're showing up, you are that runner.
Yes.
Walk it, walk it, dance it.
That's true.
Move, because movement is that relationship that I hope all of us can have until the last day of our lives.
Absolutely.
And also to have, the freedom to say, in this very moment, this is what serves me best. Whether it's walking, and then that could change. You want to run, or you're running and you're very fast, and then at some point your body is asking for something different. So, and that actually ties in to the campaign that we're rolling out for this year, which is more than just a runner, meaning that all of us, we wear so many hats. And, we're professionals, we're, mothers, sisters, daughters,
friends.
And spouses, and so on and so forth. And so it's diminishing to put a label. We're, we're magical. We're more than that.
We're not in a box, for sure.
Erica keeps going on these rants.
But
just
I know.
Mic drops,
Wow, she's covering everything.
I mean, Francis, do you feel that way? Like you're
big
trying
for
to
me.
chase something?
No, I'm not trying to chase.
Yeah.
I like the party pace. I love filming during my races. I love looking at the mountains. I love looking at the scenery. LA Marathon.
We know you love filming those races.
I love filming.
Those stories are amazing.
I love it because I want to go back and remember that moment. Not just remember it, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I love to go back and look at the pictures, thousands of pictures and videos, because I want to go back. You know how it comes up in your memories now? And you get to relive a year, 2, or all the way back to 3 years.
Yeah,
and you get to relive that moment and remember, oh man, you get that experience again, that feeling. But to your question, what do we think about walking and the impostor syndrome? With your pacers, I have to say it. We're walkers. We're everything. We're preconditioners. We're 5K, 10K. We're half marathoners. We're marathoners. We're ultra marathoners. We're hikers. We're everything. Whatever your body decides to be that day,
that's amazing.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
If you feel like today I'm gonna walk, and that's what we are. We're walkers today. We're inclusive of everyone. We don't bring people down because today they're on this pace or that pace. Sometimes now I have a friend that has to cycle. She's injured. I have 2 right now that the doctor said cycling is better for you. So they come out with their bikes, and they're with us. We're pacers no matter what.
I love that.
And everybody's included. So I don't get that imposter syndrome. I don't know if I should, but I don't.
You shouldn't.
Definitely not.
No, right? I shouldn't. But I get more of I love the challenge. I love the challenge. And if someone tells me I can't do it, or you just can't, you're not there, I'm gonna work my ass off.
Yeah.
To get there and to do it for myself. But I won't get the top 3. I'm not aiming for the top 3, but I'm aiming to make friends, to motivate someone else, to inspire them to come out and let them know that they could do it too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
See why I picture as an ambassador.
Hey, another mic drop. Here we go.
I'm sorry. It's just this is our heart, our soul. And,
I think Monica's done a great job of creating that culture with your,
amazing. And thank God every day that I met her.
Yeah, I've never been like that. What you were saying. For me, it was different because my parents were marathon runners, and I grew up in the sport from a little child and watching them run. So for me, running was always and still is today like a spiritual experience. It's a meditative experience.
Yes.
This morning I ran, and it's just like go somewhere where I think about today. I think about talking to both of you. And creating content and telling stories, and then the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, here we are, But my medals are hung up in my house, and I always tell people I could never tell you the time for any of those medals, but if you just pick one medal out, I'll tell you an amazing story about that day, and that's the way it should be,
Yes.
And
I agree.
Trying to teach new runners that are coming into this running boom. I'm always trying to teach them, like, forget about the time, enjoy the journey, the experience, because that's all you're going to remember.
And if this is your first race, okay, you want to have a good experience.
Yeah.
You never want to leave like, I had a horrible time here, I never want to run again. You don't want that for anyone.
Yeah.
You want them to always come and just do what you can. The fact that you showed up, the fact that you wake up and you showed up, that's just enough, honestly. Sometimes you don't feel like walking, show up and just cheer.
Absolutely.
Just come out and cheer.
Yeah.
Make a sign, those funny signs that we see on the race. And just come. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work to be a cheer squad, and it's so rewarding.
Yeah. So Erica, Let's talk about the ambassador program for Malibu Moves. You've made, you made the program. There have been a lot of runners in the community. How did you go about that as far as deciding who was going to be part of your team? And I'm sure there was a lot of interest, people wanting to apply.
Yes, it's kind of like a magical moment, because every time somebody applies, it's an opportunity. It's a little window in their lives. So they get to tell you a little bit about them, and I'm in a very privileged point of view where I get to meet all of these incredible people. Of course, then I had to make some choices. So Malibu Moves this year will offer a 5K and a half marathon. So I wanted my ambassadors to be able to represent somehow different journeys in either accomplishing a 5K or a half marathon. And so if you go on our website, we have a page, you can meet our ambassadors, or you go on Instagram and you see who they are. They're very different one from another, from the person that's doing their first race ever, and they're going through their journey of discovering that there's this supportive community behind, and it's really refreshing to see it through their eyes again.
Of course.
They're like, oh, they're starting to, look around and then finding their crew, where they belong, and feeling that empowerment and that support to more seasoned and accomplished type of runners that then have shared experiences of, now being 11 years sober and really feeling that running saved their lives. And actually, you've interviewed the person I'm mentioning, Anthony, which is one of my ambassadors. And for him, when he speaks about how movement and running has basically been that moment, that thing that helped him take control of his life. And then he is married to an incredible woman who is also an ambassador of mine, Jan, and she escaped domestic violence. And so it's another story of resilience. And guess what? How she built that resilience was also through running. So and I have younger and faster runners such as Mark. He is also created a run club of his own, and he's inspired to also not make pace a driving force. We have another club leader, Oliver, with Struggle Bus. We have Uncle Larry from downtown LA.
Yeah, Uncle Larry.
Yes, we have Rhonda, who is a breast cancer survivor. From Azusa Pacer, which shout out to them, because that's another incredible family.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were just there celebrating their third year anniversary.
Right.
Wow.
They're incredible.
Something else.
Yes. I completely agree. So it became just obvious, and I'm very lucky to now have this group, because for me they are Malibu Moves.
Yeah.
They're what will make that day special, because they are you. They somehow, some of their story tells the story of, the people there. And,
absolutely.
And all of us coming together, all of the participants coming together, an old friend of mine who unfortunately is no longer with us, although for me, he is here every day, Alberto, Barefoot Alberto. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
So he retains the World Guinness for barefoot marathon running.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was one of the most incredible people I've ever met, again, through this world of crazy running. And he was absolutely selfless, and he has inspired so many people to believe they could do it. He would be so gentle in just suggesting, I think you can. And so many over the years have shared their story about how he was able to just get through them somehow. But anyhow, going back to Alberto, which I feel him with me in my new venture, in always reminding me that the event was of the runners or of the participants. It's their event. We're just here, pulling, a few things together in order for them, to bring in the magic.
It's all about the people. It's all about the people that get together
Yeah.
to do this,
And shout out to Frank and Maria from the Zuma Pacers,
Yes.
which we're going to have them on here
nice.
soon. It's just trying to get them over here.
Yeah,
There's something else.
They're incredible.
They remind me of like a Monica. Like everyone has amazing things to say about Monica. And the culture that Frank and Maria have created at Zuma Pacers is just
We're all
unreal.
Pacer families.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have a team that chooses the ambassadors, or was this something that you do?
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. We're, we're pretty small. I wear most of the hats, and so the behind the scenes, I am there, with, the permits, the marketing, responding to your emails, posting on social media and coordinating, with vendors and sponsors in the city. And then I have a great team that produces the event. And so I can count on them, and they've been with me for the last almost a decade.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it was my opportunity to choose a team that could represent, and couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Are you still adding more, or we're done?
We have a couple. We're closed for this year. There's a couple that still have not been announced, but they're already been selected. But for next year, I'm curious to see who is going to show up. Because also, besides the fact that I hope that you will have a chance to, get to know them more through the stories that we're telling. We're going to make sure that our ambassadors are going to be, receive a lot of love on race day for sure.
Sure. I'm thinking about like anyone watching or listening for future, next year. Is there a certain characteristic or a few that you're really dialed into, and some that if you see something come through, I don't know if you use videos or it's just questions. Is there something there that just turns you off right away?
I would rather say what would really, grab my interest is that it's that person that has a story, and we all have. So of course, I am passionate about having my ambassador be that inspiration for somebody else. And it doesn't mean that anything is specific, but I'm looking for you to be somebody that can spark, light that light in somebody else. And then, of course, promote in the community. So we want, as many people to know what Malibu Moves stands for, to get people excited. So whether it is, because they're out there in the community, they're dialed in, the running scene, content creators, so much of our stories are told through content. So we love, good content creators.
Of course, I love that. I mean, congratulations, Francis, for making ambassador. I have a question for you, Francis. How has the experience been for you so far as an ambassador?
So far, I love it. I mean, I think this is natural to me because what I'm passionate about, I speak about. I want others to be included. I want others to join me. If I love something, I want everybody else to come with me and experience it. So, I mean, I love it. I think I'm just sharing what I feel. I feel great about it. It's life-changing. When I go out there and run, I feel the clarity. You get the answers to all your problems. Everything comes together.
Right.
All the pieces to the puzzle come together. You're meditating when you're out there. You're zoning out and you're just thinking positive thoughts. And I just want to share that with people. So it's very easy, the ambassadorships for me, because I'm passionate about it. I love it. And I want everybody to come to it.
Yeah, and the community has embraced your vision of Malibu Moves.
Yes, I hope so. I think
you feel
so.
like it's
I mean, who doesn't want to run in Malibu?
Right,
and
that's
PCH.
what I'm saying.
PCH it's closed. I mean, that's why I'm going to be recording. It's party pace, recording. Taking pictures, meeting people. I love that. It's just natural.
Yeah.
I have one thing then to add to my answer is that authenticity. That would be my number one. My number one factor that will drive my attention, because you can only inspire somebody if you speak from a place from the heart.
Yeah, you can't fake it here.
And so speaking to Francis, I just felt that genuine connection right away, and I'm excited because I can see that she just naturally wants to, support others in their journey. And, some other of my ambassadors are walkers, because representation, it's a big thing. So if like for any other, product or service, if you're only, telling the stories of a particular thing, I could say it's inclusive of all paces. And then I'm only, celebrating the top 3 in their, overall. And we're not telling that it's possible to enjoy and how to really feel validated. Because that perspective, I'm so glad she's saying she's never felt that she need to be faster, and you confirm that, which is great, because it means that the culture is shifting. And I really, I used to say, no, now I'm just a walker. And even in my vocabulary, this just a walker, or like, how many people, if there's an event that offers multiple distances, will say, if it's a 5K and a half, they'll say, I'm just doing the 5Ks. There's a full marathon, they'll say, I'm just doing the half. And I'm like, there's not just doing a 5K or just doing a half. No. It is a big deal, and you should allow yourself to feel that way.
Absolutely.
It's an accomplishment. No matter what, it's an accomplishment.
Not compared to something else or somebody else, just for you.
Yeah, you're right, though. The culture is changing. I mean, we talk about running even 20 years ago. I remember lining up at LA Marathon. It was just like fast people. I mean, that's all people that ran LA Marathon. Now the culture has completely changed. It's just been amazing to watch it progress over the years,
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it's a great time where, like, overall, across many subjects, this entitlement to feeling empowered. It's really you can feel it. Like we're ready to take ownership of who we are, and give some self-love.
Yeah, I love that. And Frances, you're gonna run the half marathon?
I'm doing the 5K.
5K.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna hang out. After.
That's so cool.
We wait for the last people to cross.
And you're pulling all the way
And we
to
work for the. I'm hoping, yeah. And we wait for the awards too.
Yeah.
So we're there till everything starts coming down.
Yeah.
We're there till the end. What shirts are left over? I'm that. What can I bring back to the Whittier Pacers? That's who I am.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was going to ask you bringing all the Whittier Pacers with you?
I hope they all join.
Yeah, we want to see a lot of red shirts.
There's going to be a lot of red for sure.
I love my Whittier Pacers.
There's no question. Yeah.
It's always the best with all of them together.
Yeah.
If they're not with me, I'm like, oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
But let me go make new friends.
Yeah.
So, but I love them. So I hope they all come with
Good.
me.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
Monica won't let me take them all, though. Just a couple.
Tell them they have the day off, Monica, to come over.
Just come, yeah.
So, yeah, we have been talking about the race, right? But now let's talk about Malibu Moves, right? Like, what should the listener, anyone watching this on YouTube, what should they expect? I want to go in a little order here. The expo is going to be amazing. Again, the backdrop, Zuma Beach, right? So
yeah. So I'll give a little bit of an outline of what to expect. So we do set everything up at Zuma Beach, which I love it. Saturday is the expo. There'll be sponsors and vendors activation. So absolutely. I know that, for some coming from far away, it seems like a daunting drive, but it is worth your time, especially if you're making it a day out, So, bring, your beach towel and hang out with us. There'll be activities. And so make it a whole day. And if you have kids, we have the 1K Kids Run.
Yes.
4 to 10 years old. And
on Saturday.
Yeah. The same day of the expo, and you must pick up your bib the day before unless you selected the bib by mail. So if you're not doing that, show up at the expo. If you have kids, or bring the kids for the kids run. There's going to be a kids zone, so it's going to be a lovely day at the beach. Great. And then the following day, same spot. It's the start and finish. And, both the half marathon and 5K get on the PCH as a partial closure. And, the 5K runs along Zuma Beach, turns around and back, and it's virtually a flat race. So it's very, very accessible and enjoyable. Obviously, you're there, this, mile-long sandy beach. on one side, the mansions on the other.
Yeah.
The half marathon then progresses north,
Yeah.
gets to Nicholas Canyon, and you're gonna have some amazing rolling hills there. So train with hills. Nothing is too steep. The elevation gain is just over 400 feet, but
Okay.
you just need to be prepared mentally in your strategy and in your training
Sure.
so that okay, this is a gradual incline. I'm going to conserve whatever is what you've been prepping for. And then downhill, you're going to have that extra help, with the speed. But many that have run a similar course there have PR'd, so it might be you. And
Wow.
Not
Because
me.
of the downhill at the very end, you're
Yeah.
just flying down.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're good at conserving,
Sure.
especially at first, it can help you.
Strategy for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think I read on the website that if you cannot make it to the expo to pick up your bib, runners can,
You can delegate.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you have, send the one person in charge for everybody, to pick it up, and we can absolutely accommodate that. Or select the bib by mail option, either when you register or after you've registered, so that you receive your bib in the mail, and then you show up on race day, and race day you pick up your shirt, and you're all good. And then I want to give a special shout out. We have, besides the regular 5K and half marathon, we have what I call the charity movers. So there's an option to run for free for charity. And the charity that we support is the Malibu Education Foundation, that is basically behind all of the athletic and art program for all Malibu public school. So we're talking about over 1,000 kids.
Amazing.
And, when it comes to Malibu, it has kind of like this reputation of being this community of only the rich and the famous.
Sure.
But it's not like that. There's so many diverse type of backgrounds and, incomes when it comes to the actual kids that go to school. So unless, we support, organizations like that, those programs are not rolled out.
Yeah.
And so going back to what we were saying is, starting from the youth, equipping them with those experiences and life skills, that movement and sports and being together can give you, especially outdoors. Those kids have, it's a different world than the world we grew up in.
Yeah.
They live through their phones. So it's really empowering to actually show them a different way to have a really a social experience, but tied into such a positive thing.
Yeah.
So going back to why it is so amazing, I believe, to be a charity runner, is that you basically don't pay anything up front.
Okay.
You commit to raising $500 for the Malibu Education Foundation, which is very achievable. We help you even with strategies on how to raise that in 7 days. And then you get a VIP treatment on race day. You have your special bib, special corral, and then a whole activation zone, the VIP Charity Lounge. It's absolutely a gorgeous space, and there's treatments. Everything is complimentary inside, catering,
Nice.
deluxe restrooms. So we're gonna make you feel, like a star because
Malibu star.
Yeah. And they're gonna be, the charity will, your name will be on it, because that's
helping
another
someone.
beautiful part, that a lot of runners are really, they're incredible humans that care to give back to their community.
Absolutely. And have you had a lot of people participate so far in the?
Yeah, it's getting a lot of traction, and I hope many more will decide to choose that option.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's a no-brainer, because
Sure.
experiencing Malibu that way, it's really going to be an experience to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what you deserve. You've made your way to Malibu, have it all VIP the entire way, And at the same time, you can feel like you've made a difference in the, in a kid's journey, to becoming a better adult.
That's cool.
That's right.
And can participants also pay for the VIP experience if they wanted to?
Great question. Yes, you can also add it as a add-on before, after registering,
Yeah.
and you can also get a friend in if you want to purchase a pass for them. Maybe your spectators, while the way
Sure.
that you do your
That's
race, you
kinda
want
cool.
them.
Yeah.
And the charity lounge and the beer garden are along the finish line chute. So you can just wait for them from inside the spaces.
Sounds like a
that
big
beer.
party.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
and
big
all of the
party.
proceeds of the beer garden also go to our charity
Oh,
partner.
wow.
So you're gonna
That's
feel good about getting that
drinking.
wristband,
Feel
and
good about
we'll
drinking.
have non-alcoholic options. So if you still want to support and be in that
Oh,
space.
good.
You will, and if you're up for a beer, after what you just did, then you can feel good about doing it for a great cause.
Yeah, that's
That's right.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think, most people think Malibu is full of, celebrities. Brad Pitt and lives there and stuff.
But clearly not.
There's a little bit of everything everywhere.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I never would have known that, in
Right.
terms of, the foundation that you're working with. I guess we all assume everybody's just, the income is just skyrocketed. So.
And this the same has been for me when clearly I should have taken a hint, because I was there and I was an executive assistant and not a celebrity, and then slowly Malibu used to be a community that before being discovered as this kind of celebrity
Right.
retreat was for in the 70s and 80s for people that longed for a more natural life in the wilderness and along the beach, and so that type of culture, the surf culture, and a lot are still there from the early days and the generations after. And actually one of the core mission for residents in Malibu is to actually, they feel that they're the keeper of that natural beauty. So
I love that.
Malibu is very committed to try to limit development.
Yeah.
And you might notice that for being such a sought out community,
It's so true, yeah.
it's
what
not
you're about to say.
overdeveloped, and it's actually something that it's been one of their of the mission for the city, is like they feel that they're the keeper of that nature.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I mean, you go to Malibu, you don't see
You don't
much.
see a lot of development.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Wow. I feel like I told you this yesterday, that for me, what the message that you're giving is that this race is inclusive. You're going to celebrate, the middle of the pack, the back of the pack. Is there anything you can share with us? Some details what you're going to do? Make music?
Yes.
DJ on wheels or something?
Are we spilling the beans
Did I just
again?
give you an idea?
Rizzo, spill the beans, Rizzo.
A
Come on.
band on wheels or something?
Only because you asked.
The Rolling Stones, maybe?
Well, you're invited to come if you're listening to the podcast, Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
So the number one thing is with, the cutoff times. So number one is our commitment not to having anybody left behind.
Yes.
So, you're going to finish the event no matter what. We're going to be there for you. So, and big celebration at the end. Again, opportunities to do it. VIP style, either, if you raise funds for charity or you bought the entry. There's the beer garden to stay and celebrate. We have our party pacers on top of many of my ambassadors that naturally have said, oh, when we're done, we're going out there and walking
Cheer them
alongside
on.
or running alongside the back of the pack, and the party pacers will be there with music and noisemakers. And there's again, what a selfless way, because, my party pacers, just as also other pacers that are providing, the option for you to follow different, paces according to your finish line. They're doing that with the goal of allowing you to do it. And especially the party pacers, it means adapting to somebody else's pace.
Yes.
Which is not always easy because, following what your body's telling you, it's one thing,
Right.
but doing it according to somebody else's pace and schedule, it's selfless.
Absolutely.
So I'm very grateful that actually I have seen a lot of people, raise their hands and say, we want to do that. And I had some of my partner run clubs make some nominations so that, I could have that representation too of, who's going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and then encouraging a lot of people to stay behind because there'll be music, there's a DJ, there's party going. Don't leave when you're done. Stay for that moment, because I can tell you that I've seen tears, I have seen moments that have changed my life at the end, the last few people, because what it means to them to cross that finish line, it's contagious. Like
Sure.
it's gonna become an experience for you just as much. So that's where I'm like, let's change up the culture. And now it's like, I'm gonna stay until the last one. I don't leave until the last one is done.
I love that. Yeah, it's so cool.
We will be there for sure.
I'm sure there's some other surprises that you can't share with us, but we'll leave that to the imagination for race day. But I'm gonna start with you on this question. Okay. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
The day after the race.
Okay. Oh God.
You wake up.
Where to hide?
It was a complete success. What does that look like to you?
What does that look like to me Monday morning? I don't want to get up. I want to just look at my videos and pictures. I want to talk to everybody. I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
I want to talk to everybody about everything. You know? It's rewarding. It's rewarding just seeing people finish and people do it, you know, just their first time. And just you remember that. When people cry, it will stay with you.
Yeah.
Because they think they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you saw them accomplish it, and you remember your first one. You know, so every day after a race, and maybe the day after and the week after, and then you'll be like, oh, a week ago I was doing this, or 2 weeks ago I was doing this, and you just go back to it.
Yeah.
So Monday morning is gonna be a huge success.
Yeah.
We're gonna be celebrating still. We're gonna be posting a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. Because we'll be posting during the race, but then after is when the other content comes in, you know? It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of beautiful content.
The pre-registration for the next year, you know? We got to sign up for that one. So it's a high. It's a high that you don't come down for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I love what you're saying. I could close my eyes and see it.
Yeah. Besides, Mick Jagger showing up.
Yeah,
that was
what is he wearing?
I mean, the race director. This is your baby. Like, what does that day look like? What are you trying to?
That's a great question. For me,
the first one too. What's your first one?
Yes. So actually, thank you for saying that, because the number one thing is there's only a first year ever.
It's true.
And it is the most special because it is the start of a new journey and a new legacy. So, of course, this is also an opportunity. And Rizzo knows, for instance, with LA, because he's done it for so long and his family has done it for so long. You know, there's some people, it's a very small group, and they've done it every year from year one.
Yeah.
You could be that person with Malibu Moves starting this year where, like, we're going to, look at each other in 10, 20 years. And you're like, you were there at Zuma Beach, beautiful Malibu for year one, the inaugural baby. And for me, what I would measure in a successful event being is knowing that people left transformed. Yeah. They went back with a new memory of something that made them feel celebrated, empowered, and that they felt treated as important as they are to me. They're, people that come to an event like this, they're not numbers, everybody is my VIP, that day. And so if I were able to make them feel such, then I did a good job.
Nice. It's only so many mic drops you could do. So I don't know.
No, but really, that is where my empowerment, it is an honor. It is an honor to be part of somebody's journey in accomplishing that. Yeah. It's not small thing. It's a big thing, and I appreciate that, and I feel the responsibility to be part of that journey for them.
I love that. I love that. Before I allow you to give some details, I just want to say, if you're listening across the country, I mean, come on, end of October over here in LA is just phenomenal.
And the summer, right?
Right. There's still time to get out here and make some plans to come out here to run. And I'm telling you, we're talking next year, after everything is said and done through social media, you're going to see that this race will be one of the top 10 most scenic races in America. So come out, be a part of this the first time. It's going to be unbelievable. And I think it aligns perfect with a lot of races that are coming up. CIM is coming up in December. It's the perfect race. Of course, it's a little too close to New York, but there's a lot
LA
of
Marathon, and
exactly.
As my ambassador, Uncle Larry, at downtown LA runners. he likes to say, like, in LA Leggers as a target half marathon through their training to LA Marathon. So even there, like, get your feet wet,
That's so true.
and get a sense of how being in an organized event feels, again, in a very, very fun way. And then I think there's a word that we have in this community. We call it rancation, right?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
And so make
Everywhere.
it a rancation to
Seriously.
Malibu.
It really is going to be a rancation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you
so-
get to see a city. When you go somewhere, just run and you get to experience the entire city.
Yeah, you're completely right. You're going to see Malibu like you've never seen it before. So that's a great point. Yeah. So details. I mean, where can anyone, the website and Instagram and,
So MalibuMoves.com is our website. You can find everything there. We still, as of today, have a price increase to go. I don't know when the podcast is going to be released. If we're going to,
I believe September 12th.
So you might be still in time to save if you sign up now. And Malibu Moves is our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Malibu Moves with You is our YouTube. And, tune in. You get a course preview already posted to our Instagram and website, but also our very own Rizzo is committed to going out and doing his own version of the course preview. So I'm really excited
Yes, I'm going
for
to
that.
run it soon. And
Let us know when,
Yeah.
so maybe we can come out with you guys.
I will be
Yeah.
running the half marathon on race day, by the way. So-
on race
Right.
day.
Yeah.
So you can come and join our ambassadors or Rizzo, and, walkers, runners, everybody welcome. And, it's the start of a new journey. It's our, start of a new legacy. Malibu Moves, the 1K for the kids, 4 to 10. It's Saturday, October 27. The half marathon and the 5K is on Sunday, October 27. The half marathon starts at 7. The 5K at 7:30. So you'll all finish up at the same place. Beer garden and charity lounge, lining up the finish line shoot at the beach. So it's going to be an incredible day for sure. I do want to mention that come early, and that is probably a recommendation that is valid across any
Sure.
event.
Yeah.
It's so tempting, to want to cut it close, but don't underestimate the traffic that you'll find. Malibu, it's a community that is developed along the Pacific Coast Highway. There's only a way in and a way out, so it's out of our control. There's going to be traffic, and getting inside the parking lot where everybody parks at Zuma Beach, it's going to take time. And I know that, it could create frustration, but if you prepare and you come in early, we'll have a sunset yoga to start. So come
That's
on
amazing.
in. Let's look at that sun rising, not sunset, sorry. Sunrise yoga.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All together, let's ground ourselves and get ready to, experience
beach? Is this on
Malibu.
the
Yeah,
beach?
on the
Oh,
beach.
man.
It's gonna be
You're
amazing.
in?
So come in early. That
I'll be there.
30 minutes of extra sleep, it's not gonna make you feel better, and it's gonna create a lot of stress.
Yeah,
So
we
that
can't
would be-
sleep anyways
I
on
can't.
race night.
Yeah,
anyways.
especially it's your first.
can't do it.
The
Yeah.
jitters are real.
Francis, what's next for you? You have any races coming up besides Malibu
God.
Moves?
I have a lot going on.
yeah, I know
I like
you do.
to stay
but
busy.
Yeah, any
I love
marathons
it. I get
or
FOMO if I don't participate.
yeah,
What do we have? Well, independently, me and my friends are doing Half Dome in October. It's
Okay.
my first time doing Half Dome.
Very cool.
So I'm going to start training in September.
You're hiking the half dome?
It's one
Amazing.
of my greatest fears. So
Oh my
I'm just
God.
challenging myself in my
Good.
life.
I love that.
That's
That's
my fear.
fantastic.
Walking down, I can't walk down, even downstairs. I can't look down. It's
Wow.
weird to me. And
Can't wait to see that. By the way,
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't record.
Yeah.
I'm not recording
Okay.
that. Unless someone
Somebody
gives me
will.
a
With the heart.
GoPro or
With the
something. But there's stuff that I don't post or don't record and don't put public out there. There is some stuff, okay? I do post a lot, but there is stuff
Are you
that I
sure?
just keep to myself. I do. But I'm doing a lot. I'm doing Half Dome just in September's my birthday month. Let me just say that.
Nice.
So we're doing like Mud Girl Run.
Okay.
It's I put this together. I put a group of girls together. It's obstacles, but we do it for the community. We do it for the support, to hang out with girls, just to be there for each other. The obstacles are not very difficult, but we're there to help each other out, to support each other, to make it a girl day. I love girl stuff. And then I have a lot going on. But October, October is Half Dome, and then we have the Whittier race on the 26th. It's a spectacular. It's the biggest race in Whittier. Okay. So all of the pacers are out there, the entire group. In November, we have Drumstick Dash with Mercury Events. That's the biggest.
She's name dropping now.
I'm sorry.
Like this.
Hi, Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin.
Hi.
Gavin's
love
happy
for
right
everybody.
now.
Love Gavin. Love Mercury Events. So Drumstick Dash is the biggest Thanksgiving race in Los Angeles. And yes, I am one of the ambassadors for that one, and I love it. We have about 70 people, over 70 that have signed up for that one, and that one helps us feed the homeless.
That's amazing.
So we have a lot, and then obviously training for LA Marathon begins September 14th.
I love it.
So you're coming out to Whittier Pacers, right?
I am going to go
hope
speak
so.
to the Pacers.
Is that
absolutely.
Is that yeah? So 2 days before. Yeah.
Monica,
so,
I'm still waiting for you to call me.
This is a call right here. It's set. Monica said yes. So we're doing training for LA Marathon. Again, I'm not, that one I do try to PR. I think that's the only race that I do try to PR. It's going to be my third LA Marathon. The first one was 6 hours. The second one was 5. So this one I'm aiming for 4:30, 4:45.
Awesome.
So that's the only one out of the year that I do try to PR, because I love LA Marathon.
Good.
I love it so much.
I'm
I wish
glad.
I could do that more often.
Sure.
Throughout the year.
Sure.
But we have a lot going on.
And if anyone wanted to find you on Instagram,
it's I'm Silky, IMSILKYY. And then my code for Malibu Moves, Francis 10. So if you guys go after,
here we go.
If the price increase goes up, use my code Francis 10.
Francis 10. And I'll put all the information on video, but obviously if you're
join
listening,
us.
they said it all.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
I thank you, Erica. I was going to say, when she was speaking about, this is my first, I'm just, 2 years into the running community, and I want to see where this goes, where my future goes in this. But this is my first legacy run. This is my first one, Yeah. I haven't done that with any race. It's going to be my the first ambassadorship with you, so it's a lot of first times, and there's nowhere else to go but up from here, right?
That's right.
So thank you for everything. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Rizzo, for having us.
Absolutely.
And I would just end just saying that if this conversation has inspired at least one person,
we did our job.
Then we did our job.
We did our job.
To just, show up and move, because that's everything. That's
Absolutely. Life. Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming on. I truly appreciate it. Very happy to have you here. So.
It's such a gorgeous setting.
Yes,
so thank you for having us, and for what you are doing for the community, because I want to just clap back at you. You're such a connector, and you bring value in telling the stories, and it was what I was saying at the beginning, is that's where the magic is. And for you with the podcast, with your content, you're really highlighting one of the best things that's going on.
I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you.
Everywhere in the world too. He's going everywhere.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'm in love with the LA running community, and I get to run across the nation and meet people from across the nation and run these amazing races. Even with Olympic athletes, I ran with an Olympic athlete in DC, but there's nothing like coming home to Los Angeles, and I'm in love with the LA running communities because of individuals like yourselves. So thank you, for everything you do, and thank you for putting on this amazing event.
I'll see you October 27.
We'll be there.
I'm in
Make
Malibu.
sure you guys say hi.
Yes.
New people. Take pictures.
Yes.
Absolutely. But again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast is dedicated to the buildup of the 40th running of the LA Marathon, March 16, 2025. I am making this race accessible to those who cannot afford the registration fees. I've already been accepting donations on my website RizzoRunClub.com. You could go on there, make a donation. You can also go on there to apply for assistance. If you are someone that needs assistance with registration fees, get on there, hit contact, leave me a message, and I will make sure that you get registered for this race. And any information that you share with me will remain confidential, full confidentiality. Nobody will ever know unless you want to come on here and tell your story. But I want you to have that confidence to get on there and ask for help, because I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming today. I thought it was amazing. If you've tuned in to the very end here, thank you so much. The best way to support this channel is to subscribe, like, but we will see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.
And that's it.
Malibu Moves.
Rizzo Run Club Podcast.
So great.
Hashtag.
Oh my God.
Special thanks to Lauren Hiltzer and his production company, HK Corp, for letting us film at their office. The podcast is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, plus other numerous platforms. Please consider subscribing to support the channel. If you would like to get in touch with me, I can be reached at Rizzo@RizzoRunClub.com. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.